Dun,
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 dun.
dun, dun,
Dun,
dun. It's enough. Spoiler alert, 15 minutes from now, you're going to know all the final scores and the best player props for week 9. The question you have to ask yourself is, do you want to know that information? Too late. Now you just can't leave. Before we jump into it, though, a quick look in the rear view mirror of how we got here. Shek 6 over last week. Now 19 over on the season. Hench 4 over on the week, along with Eddie Spaghetti. Spaghetti trying to right the ship there. Hench now up over 500 himself. Brady Lemieux 6 over last week, and he's doing well. But what's done is done. Week 8's over. As for week 9, let it begin. All right, I know it's already begun. Let's get to Patriots, Commanders, two problematic representatives for the US of A. On one hand, you've got the commies, and we don't even have time for my full thoughts on those get-ups. On the other hand, they're the Patriots, named after the soldiers who won the American Revolutionary War and who honor their very best with redcoats. What in the name of Cornwallis are we doing, Patriots? You know, what else is problematic? The state of these two teams, especially after Washington gave away half of Maroon 4. Now it's just Maroon 2. It ought to be enough of an emotional gut punch to tilt this towards those redcoats. I'm taking the Patriots 21-17. Hench, how say you?
The commies versus the Patriots, huge geopolitical implications in this one. I find it hysterical. Like, so many fan bases are moving into tank mode. So all my Patriots pals are like, we got to lose this game. What are we doing? Why are we trying to win? And now the Patriots are going up against a team that is in full tank mode. The hilarious part is, even though they're trying to lose, the commies are going to win this one 24-17 because Sam Howell's a much better quarterback than Mac Jones.
Touche. Spaghetti, how say you?
Yeah, this game points to all signs picking against the commies. Their coach, probably a lame duck coach, like you mentioned, Shek, getting rid of half the defensive line. Obviously, the new owner wants to move on from this iteration of this team. But for some reason, I'm just going to pick the commies. I mean, look at the game last week. Like, the Patriots are not as good as the Eagles, and they were in that game. Hench mentioned Sam Howell. I love this Sam Howell prop. Over 22.5 completions. That's minus 104. He's third in the NFL in completions. He's second in attempts. I think even if they're going to be down in this game, which they could be, he'll be throwing the ball a ton, but I have them still winning 20-17.
All right. Brady Lemieux looks at that 3.5 that the red-coated Patriots are giving and says too much. He's with Washington. Next, speaking of the US of A, America's alleged team against America's favorite bird, Cowboys, Eagles, rivals from way back. May not feel like it, but Dallas is just a game back in the loss column. And look at their next 4 games before they host Philly. Pretty breezy stuff. Now take a look at what the Eagles have in and around the next game with the Cowboys. Not breezy. So Dak and Dallas are going to be looking good if they can just avoid embracing some brotherly love, which they won't. Eagles 30, Cowboys 21. Comfortably, you can lay the 3, says Dameshek. Hench, how say you?
I don't know. This Eagles team, I really thought after they just coughed one away against the Jets that was the wake-up call, and then they were sleepwalking against the commies for most of that game. They really feel like they can flip a switch whenever they want, but I don't see it this week. This is actually one of my favorite picks of the week. I think Cowboys win outright 30-27. You look at the way the Cowboys came out of the gate against the Rams, not sleepwalking. I think the Eagles dig themselves a hole that's too big to get out of.
All right, Spaghetti.
Look, there's a lot to like right now. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, Dak looks like he turned it around. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's finally finding the end zone. The defense playing great without Diggs. But, you know, this Eagles team, they're a Super Bowl pick in the preseason. They were down in that game versus the commies. They stormed back in the fourth quarter. Jalen Hurts had a phenomenal game. Right now, the Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown connection, you can make the case. I mean, if it's not for Tua and Tyreek Hill, the best duo right now in the NFL. That's why I'm going with a A.J. Brown prop over 81.5 receiving yards is minus 115. 6 straight games over 100 yards. I mean, he's on fire right now. And I have the Eagles winning 33-27.
Brady Lemieux agrees. He says the Eagles win and cover. Next, Bills at Bengals. Welcome back to this AFC rivalry. Damar Hamlin, of course. Josh Allen, though, less enthused about a reunion with Joe Burrow. You'll recall the last time these two played, Joe Cool won in the snow. It wasn't even close, and he became the third Cincy QB all-time to knock the Bills out of the playoffs. 1.8 seconds to answer. Hench, trivia question. Level, pretty easy. Who were the other two quarterbacks?
Boomer Esiason.
I mean, half right. I'm going to give you a Boomer. I assume you were going to say Esiason. Ken Anderson is, of course, the other one. Now imagine this. Losing four straight.
I said Boomer Esiason, and then you didn't let me guess my second guess.
I only gave you 1.8 seconds. This is a 15-minute show, man.
You're right. When you're right, you're right. When you're right, you're right.
Now, let me say, losing 4 straight Super Bowls is bad, but 3 playoff games to the Bengals? The Cincinnati Bengals? Eek. Dark stuff there. Now, were this one a battle between the most popular foodstuffs of these two sports towns? Buffalo by 3 or 8 touchdowns. Wings versus that red soup stuff that they pour over noodles and they call chili there. However, that's not what this is about. Bad news for the Bills. Give me full strength Joe over just about anybody, and I am including Mahomes. I say Bengals 31-24. Hench, how say you?
Well, it's been wild watching these Bills lately. Obviously, Tyrod Taylor and the referees conspired to give them a victory 3 weeks ago. They lost to the woeful Patriots 2 weeks ago. They couldn't cover in one of the grossest backdoor covers by the Bucs on Thursday night. So they just seem to be kind of spinning their wheels. Whereas cool Joe Burrow, I mean, if they don't run that ridiculous tight end screen to Irv Smith inside the 5, they put up 34 against that Niners defense. I like the Bengals like you 27-23.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, I'm going the Bengals 20-24 here. They kind of have their number. I feel like Bengals are getting right at this time. And Buffalo, let's see what happened in this game because they kind of play up to their competition, but also down to their competition. Josh Allen has been pretty sloppy with the football this year. I've been riding that Stephon Diggs prop train, but I'm actually going to switch it up. James Cook, over 49.5 rush yards is -113. He's done it in 3 straight games. Probably a shocker that he is 8th in the NFL right now in rush yards. Not a lot of buzz with him, but he will convert that. So again, Bengals win 20-24.
I just heard somebody call Josh Allen a freak show. I don't disagree. It was Howie Long. My response to that is Joe Burrow's the better NFL quarterback. Brady Lemieux agrees. He says Bengals comfortably here. Now it's time for the 15-minute pregame shows. 4-second halftime show featuring, I think it's Boba Fett's kid and a guy with a camera head dancing for some scary clowns. See if you can make some sense of it. Don't do drugs, kids. Okay, from candy to schnitzel, live from Frankfurt, it's the Chiefs and the Dolphins, old school AFL foes. Huge significance for the 2023 AFC playoff picture. Almost as big as Christmas night 71, longest game ever. Garrow, the hero. And there was Marino v. Montana, the Chief in 94, which went the same way as Marino v. Montana, the Niner went. We don't have time for this crap, David. Anywho, who'll be celebrating with one of those gigantic Hefeweizens on Sunday? I say it's Miami covering the 1.5 that they're currently laying. Hench, how say you?
Listen, neutral site, no Nick Bolton for the Chiefs, whose defense was getting really solid. All signs point to the Dolphins, which is why, as someone who has gone 3-75 betting the Chiefs, whichever side I'm on, I'm wrong. Like if I bet the Broncos plus 10.5, the Chiefs win by 11, 19-8. If I go, I learned my lesson, I'm going to be on the Chiefs in Denver. Ironically, Travis Kelce's teammate doesn't get a flu shot and wake up like, oh, your bet's already in. Too late. This guy's got the flu. He's awful. So all signs point to Miami. I'm always wrong on the Chiefs, so I'm taking the Chiefs by a field goal.
Kind of smart, I guess. Spaghetti, how say you?
I think my biggest disappointment at this NFL trading deadline was the Chiefs not getting a receiver to help Patrick Mahomes. I know that he had this flu game, but give the guy some help. Every defense knows to cover Travis Kelce. And like Hench said, the defense has been playing pretty well for KC, but I just feel like this Miami offense is something that's going to always beat a really good defense. Every week after the Dolphins play, I look on Twitter and see a new kind of motion and formation that McDaniel has created down in South Beach. It's unbelievable. So I am going to go Miami wins this game 34-31. 34-31. And I hate to be a curmudgeon and say this, but I really wish we saw the Tyreek Hill reunion in KC. I know the NFL International is great and everything, but I wish this game was on U.S. soil. I am going to go Tua Tagovailoa, longest passing completion over 37.5 yards. It's minus 123. He's leading the NFL in pass yards. He's fourth in big play passes, which are over 20 yards, and he's tied for first with passes over 40 yards with 7. So I think that's going to cash too. And the Dolphins win a really close one.
All right. So Brady Lemieux likes the Dolphin Dogs as well. He says Miami is going to win this one. The first place Seahawks at the first place Ravens are next on our list. Of course, there'll be hitting, lots and lots of hitting. It's all they know. It's all they've ever known. But these days, as you may have heard, both teams are at least as well known for their two fancy QBs. I say Baltimore at home laying 6. I say they cover it. Give me the birdies, 27-20. Hench, how say you?
I'm in your garage, Shaq, on this one. The Ravens just really playing great in all phases. Like, this looks like a really complete team and a contender. Now, the one thing I will say, my fantasy mojo is so strong, I've managed to make Justin Tucker a bad fantasy kicker. That's how powerful my fantasy mojo is. But this week, they get it done. Now, interestingly, a couple weeks ago, you threw out Seahawks plus 900 to win the division. That's down to plus 250. However, that number is going to be going back up after they lose 28-17 to the Ravens.
By the way, related, kind of, sort of, the Bengals are going to win the division. The Ravens are in, as excited as people are about Baltimore right now. And by the way, in the standings, Dameshek, close on the heels of Hench in our fantasy league. Spaghetti, how say you?
I'm going to go with the Seahawks in this one with the points here. I have them winning 23-20, just they're winning outright anyway. You know, I feel like the Baltimore Ravens need Lamar Jackson to be awesome to win games, and I just feel like the Seahawks could have Geno Smith playing okay, and they're going to be fine. The cornerbacks, Hench has been talking them up. They've been outstanding. They go and make a huge trade for Leonard Big Cat Williams to bolster the defensive line. I love the duo at running back with Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. JSN's finally showing up. Like, this is a really good, well-rounded team here. I think this is going to be a really, really tough matchup. I think that you're going to be a lot of field goals in this game, which is why Hench brought up Justin Tucker. I do have Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals. That's minus 117. It's going to be a lot of the middle of the field play between these two teams, but I do have the Seahawks coming out on top.
I think you make a good point there, Spaghetti, by pointing out JSN rising up in recent weeks there. This is about the point in the pro football season where those rookies are going to be more and more relevant. So track that from a fantasy and prop perspective. Brady Lemieux says Ravens win, don't cover. Monday night, Chargers v. Jets. Snake Plissken wants nothing to do with either one of these towns. LA v. New York. Okay, not exactly Yankees, Dodgers, or Lakers, Knickerbockers, Kings, Rags, Tupac, Biggie, but good, fascinating game just the same. The Jets, plus 3.5 at home. Total on this one is 40. I say the Chargers go in there, leave with a victory, 22-16. Hench, how say you?
Well, it's wild. You look at this Jets season. The opening night, the Bills give the Jets a victory. Then we see more recently Spaghetti's Giants give the Jets a victory. They literally hand the Jets a victory. In between, Jalen Hurts handed the Jets a victory. Like, the Jets literally do nothing all game and then walk off with a win. And if there is anybody that gift wraps victories, it's Brandon Staley. I like the Jets to win outright 2017.
I like where your head's at. Halloween is over. The holiday season proper is here. It's the time to start giving gifts, and Staley loves doing it. Spaghetti, how say you?
Yeah, I usually pick the Jets. The Jets are, I believe, are 4-2-1 against the spread. Their quality wins this year have been outstanding, but I know that game last week was a slop fest, a ton of rain. It was gross, but you can't you were about to lose to Tommy DeVito, and the Chargers offense is, light years ahead of the Giants offense right now. And I just don't see the Jets scoring enough points to win this game. So I do have the Chargers winning 27-18. But another weird thing with the Jets too is, not using Breece Hall enough, but when he does get the ball, he does score, especially in the last 3 games. I have him to score a touchdown, a plus 115 there. So Breece Hall scores, but the Jets lose to the Chargers.
Time check, Spaghetti. Can we get in one more?
Very quick. Just give out scores.
Extra point, Giants, Vegas, inexplicable. Danny Dimes is playing. The Raiders fired everybody. Why are the Giants getting points in Vegas? Not like the Raiders have a home field advantage. I say it's a blowout in favor of the visitors, 28-10. Hench, I'll say you.
Giants would definitely be 4-4 if DJ was healthy, and I think they win comfortably 27-14.
Spaghetti, go.
17-13, Giants in a way tighter game than it should be.
Lemieux says a decisive victory for the Giants, and that's that. I hope your team wins, unless they're playing my team. My team already played for the record there. Hope you enjoyed the games. Thanks for checking out -3. We'll talk to you after week 9, before week 10. Until then, thanks so much, football fans. It's been a thin slice of heaven.